Hey Steelers fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into our Steelers news and rumor video here on a Tuesday. Before we get started, we are presented by our friends at BetQL. Go to chatsports.com/SteelersQL. The discount code ChatSteelers for 25% off any of their subscription offerings, which will be down in the description box and detailed later on in this video. All right, it's a Tuesday. We need to jump into the bye week edition, as it is officially the bye week for the Pittsburgh Steelers, of the news and rumors of the day. And so we begin with a Big Ben Roethlisberger story that centers around Najee Harris. I'll explain that here. Let's jump in. So, Najee Harris, of course, is having a fantastic rookie season. Like, he was a little slow early on, really coming into his own the past couple of weeks, and looks like the first-round running back that we were all expecting when the Steelers drafted him in the early 20s. Now, when you asked about his early success and who he gives credit to over the past weekend, especially after the win the Steelers had on Sunday Night Football, the rookie running back credited Big Ben for his success, and I think has some interesting insight on how the players in the locker room view Ben, despite the fact that we, the fans, have seen a lot of, disappointing or, questionable plays and throws by the former Pro Bowl quarterback. Now, with the Steelers heading into the Week 7 bye, they get a chance to get healthy as well, which we'll talk about here in just a couple of minutes. Let's just start with the quote, though, and I think this is interesting. I want to read into this a little bit. Throw it up on the screen from Najee Harris just the other day. Quote, "It starts with Ben. Coming in, being in a new place, new program, and me being a rookie, Ben took me under his shoulder and led me, showed me the way and how it was with the Pittsburgh pride. Ben has been far more than a leader. He's been like a big brother to me and how things are and what he expects from me. Every game he brings me in and tells me stuff and what he sees and what I can work on. Ben's the leader, of course." So when you hear something like this, it makes you kind of wonder, are we not seeing the full picture because we're not in the locker room? Because Najee Harris, in and of itself, he's been fantastic, right? Let's just get that out of the way. The numbers here are starting to grow. The carries are starting to go up. The yards per carry are starting to go up. And the touchdowns have gone up. Like, everything is going in the right direction for Najee Harris in his rookie season. But I kind of look past Najee talking about the leadership of Big Ben and Big Ben helping him out specifically, and look at the fact that I think the players in the locker room are still very much bought into Ben, despite the fact that there are some media members on the outside and even some fans on the outside who are very much out on Ben as the starting quarterback. Like, Ben's struggling. Let's not go anywhere crazy with this. It's true, he's struggling, but he's getting the job done, or at least has the past couple of weeks, and the fact that they have been able to win. And so I think that even though we would like to see a quarterback play better, and all of us want Big Ben to play better, and there were still some throws against the Seattle Seahawks that made you really question, what's going on here, I think at least we can rest assured that the players in the locker room do feel like Ben is the right quarterback for the job. They still trust him as a leader, and they love him as a person and a friend, and I think that's going to go a long way towards the Steelers being successful this season, hopefully, or at least them not getting the idea of benching Big Ben, which is talked about a lot in the Steeler media over the past couple of weeks. Now, the Pittsburgh Steelers still need to start winning, and the problem is they're in a very tough division at the bottom looking up. I mean, the Ravens are not coming back anytime soon. The Bengals, who of course beat the Steelers a couple of weeks ago, are looking like a playoff team, and the Browns are injured, yet still dangerous, still got to play them, and then they're the Steelers at 3-3. I think 3-3 is kind of not a bad spot to be, especially if you want to be a wild card team, but Ben's play, regardless of how, the players in the locker room feel about him, it's got to really start trending up for them to go ahead and make a run at the postseason. But at least we can start the show by saying it does feel like players inside the locker room do still trust and believe and feel great about Big Ben as their starting quarterback. Answer this pinned comment down below right now in the comments section. What's your confidence level in Ben heading into the bye week? Like, you get 2 weeks until you got to see him in Week 8 against the Cleveland Browns. What's your confidence level? A scale 1 to 10. Give me that down below right now in the comments section. Now, before we get into our next story, talking about the wide receiver position, again, we'll mention our sponsor for today's video, and that is BetQL, chatsports.com/Steelers QL to get started now, and then use discount code ChatSteelers to get 25% off any of their subscription offerings at checkout. I basically talk about BetQL as my secret sauce in winning bets. I think I'm 18-10 in my bets this year, and we've been chronicling the bets here at Chat Sports, and I kind of use BetQL as my study work. They got the 5-star bets, 4-star bets, 3-star bets, and their recommendations, their best bet computer software that gives you why they think this bet's going to win and why they think this bet might not win. And so I get my bets in my head, I go to BetQL, I use their service, and I go ahead and adjust how I'm going to bet based on them, and it's got me in the green. I mean, 18-10 is a lot better than I've done in the past. So if you guys want to jump in on this, the link will be down below in the description box. Okay, let's talk about JuJu Smith-Schuster for a second, who, of course, is done for the year. And you're saying, Thomas, we've talked about JuJu. That was like weeks ago, and you talked about replacements for him and all sorts of stuff. I know. There was a quote, though, from Big Ben the other day, talking about replacing JuJu internally, that really had me scratching my head. Big Ben mentioned that Ray-Ray McCleod is the guy who needs to step up and take over the JuJu reps. And you kind of go, wait, I mean, Ray McCleod's not bad, but aren't there like some other internal candidates that you could go ahead and promote, or maybe an external candidate they could trade for? And the answer, of course, is yes, but we'll first start with Big Ben's quote here. Quote, Roethlisberger made it clear, this is from Steeler Wire talking about this. This is from someone writing it up about JuJu versus Big Ben's actual quote, so excuse me on that. But here's the quote from the website. Quote, Roethlisberger made it clear while the other guys made plays, you just can't replace a guy like Smith-Schuster. However, on a follow-up question about wide receiver Ray-Ray McCleod being on the field more, Roethlisberger did say he believes he's the guy the team is going to use to do some of those things. Really? Can someone explain what James Washington has done so wrong to not get an opportunity with this team? And I think the website made a good point there, talking about how, yeah, Big Ben can mention Ray-Ray McCleod, but where's James Washington? Like, this is a guy who's supposed to be a, starting wide receiver on the Steelers, yet he's basically done nothing. He's been relegated way down the depth chart. And so we talked about the idea of trading for somebody, an OBJ, a Michael Thomas, a Jamison Crowder. But I think really the JuJu replacement comes from within. It's just weird that Ben would not mention James Washington. And it makes you kind of wonder, as we get closer to the trade deadline, is he actually going to be traded? Because we talked about him in the preseason and how he wanted to be out of Pittsburgh. And then, of course, he's not out of Pittsburgh. And then when JuJu got hurt, I kind of said, well, now's your chance to take all the snaps away. And yet Big Ben mentioning Ray-Ray McCleod kind of makes you go, feels like this guy's going to be traded. It feels like they are just going to promote from within. I mean, I'm kind of at this point going to be surprised if they want to trade for somebody, because it just doesn't feel like that they're going to do that. I think that they like what they have behind Chase Claypool, and we'll wait and see who really takes over the JuJu snaps, if it's Deontay Johnson or Ray-Ray McCleod, or if, heaven forbid, James Washington gets more reps and actually gets used as a wide receiver as he's supposed to and rises from the bottom of that Steeler depth chart. I'll ask you guys this, though. Behind, of course, a guy like Chase Claypool, who is very clearly wide receiver one, you saw what he did against the Steelers, who is the number 2 wide receiver on the Steelers right now? Like, is it supposed to be James Washington? Should it be James Washington? Is it somebody else? Let me know who you think the number 2 wide receiver is on this team down below in the comments section. Okay, before we get into the Week 8, take a little injury preview, because the Browns are very, very banged up. Quick shout out to our friends at BetMGM, who are offering you a free year of BetQL if you sign up with our link at chatsports.com/SteelersMGM. Create a BetMGM account, deposit $10, bet the $10 this week. You receive a free year of BetQL within 24 hours of your wager settling. And so you get the best of both worlds, a place to make your bets, and a company that will help you decide what bets you want to go ahead and do in order to win money when you bet with BetMGM. Again, chatsports.com/SteelersMGM. We got a big link and a big description down below right now in the description box. Okay, let's mention quickly here, even though it is the bye week, you still have a very interesting next couple of days for the team you're going to play after the bye week, and that is the Cleveland Browns. Look at all the Browns who are injured. 20 total players are on the Browns' Monday injury report as they get ready to play Thursday Night Football, with some big names not practicing. These are the guys that are big name that did not practice yesterday in Cleveland. OBJ dealing with a shoulder injury. He's very iffy for Thursday night. Nick Chubb, he's officially out with a calf injury. Kareem Hunt will not play against the Steelers in 2 weeks. He's out with a calf injury as well. Baker Mayfield is dealing with that shoulder injury. He is not 100% at all. And I think that, how if the Browns weren't a playoff caliber team, he probably would not be playing right now, but he's probably going to play on Thursday. And then AJ Green has the shoulder and groin injury. He did not practice either. The Browns are extremely banged up, and it's not just for this week on Thursday Night Football. They're going to be banged up 2 weeks from now when the Steelers try to go ahead and get above 500 when they take on the Cleveland Browns. This is a matchup that a couple of weeks ago you'd go, ooh, man, I don't like how the Steelers are going to line up against the Browns. The Browns are flying high. They're playing really, really well. They're obviously healthy. And then, fast forward to what it's going to be in Week 8. The Browns have been losing. I mean, they obviously lost this past week. They got killed by the Arizona Cardinals. They had that heartbreaker on the road against Justin Herbert and the Chargers. And now, all the injuries we just mentioned, I know it's still early, and we'll give a full preview of this game coming up sometime next week, but the injuries are something to definitely keep an eye on here, where Cleveland could only lose Thursday night, go to 3-4, but then be really banged up to take on the Steelers, with a chance for Pittsburgh to go ahead and finally get above 500 up there at 4-3, which of course means you're right in the race for a wild card. You still got games against the Ravens coming up, and so the possibility of beating the Browns and getting this kind of snowball effect rolling to some more wins is definitely a possibility and something to keep an eye on, and good news for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, because Megan and I have you guys covered basically every day. We do news and rumors like we do today. Megan does her reaction videos on Sundays and Mondays, and look at the overreaction videos as well, breaking down what she saw in those games. We do mailbag videos. Megan does a lot of those. Preview videos, I take a lot of those as well. We get you ready for next week or 2 weeks from now's game against the Browns. So if you like the Steelers, we're trying to get to 6K subs here very, very soon. 5K, 6K, and keep going. Go down below and hit that subscribe button. We would greatly appreciate it. All right, ultimately for today on our Pittsburgh Steelers news and rumor video. It is the bye week, and so it'll be a little quieter week in terms of the actual news. But with the trade deadline coming up and a big matchup against the Browns, we've got to keep an eye on our Steelers. And so, of course, make sure you guys, as I mentioned before, are subscribed. Again, for Pittsburgh Steelers news and rumor video today, I am your host, Thomas Mott, as we go ahead and sign off. Stay safe out there. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll, of course, talk about plenty more Steelers stuff the next couple of days here on the channel.